We're in Yachats, Oregon, and I have a fun week of training ahead. Miles today, all new trails, probably 4,500 feet of gain, and I can hear the ocean. So, let's go. Like running on a hanging bridge. Am I being such a baby, or is it just best to walk? Started okay, but then it was like, am I gonna slip? Cool. And here's our uphill start. I'm going for the same or similar vert as Hurt. The Hurt 100, which I'm training for to do in January. But this doesn't have quite the roots that the Hurt will have. I mean, this is Rudy, but like the whole trail in Hawaii is like this. Today is day 2 of the training camp. and I would be lying if I told you I was excited. There's some wind today. Tomorrow is my longest day, somewhere between 30 and 40 miles, and it's supposed to rain the whole time. So I'm just gonna take this weather one day at a time. So time to start now. We're going for 16 miles, and somehow I managed to make this route slightly more vertical feet of change per mile than hurt. That's just because the first 2 miles are pretty flat, so that means that by hitting the target, I'm actually, the challenging sections are actually a little more challenging. These trails are pretty tough, which is why I came here. There's a little bit of challenge just in that, like, I know my family is just like waiting for me to go run. I have to remember that Nora prefers to just chill in an Airbnb versus go out and about. It still makes it a little bit hard. Didn't sleep super great last night, worrying about the weather, which is really stupid. So now that we had a little moment of whining, let's start running, because I just walked down that hill to talk to you instead. Procrastination at its finest. So I'm already warmer. I already took my head off. Man, look at these views. We're starting just getting out of town. It's over there to get to the trailhead, which is about 2 miles, or a little less than 2 miles of road running, but still with some killer views. Nothing like 1,000 feet above this. Those views are pretty nice. But also just like the views of the houses you run by. Some nice houses over here. If you're from a road running background, especially, you have had a training plan, more than likely, that has a 20-mile long run as your longest run before marathon, maybe 18, maybe like 22, whatever. You have this one long run, and the notes might say, wear what you're going to wear on race day, practice your nutrition, yada yada yada. So if you're running 100 miles, what is your longest run? Like, you don't go out and run 80 miles before 100. So in ultra marathons, and really any sport, but we're talking about ultra marathons, we have these training camps that it's just a big volume week or weekend. In the past, I've done 50K races as a training camp, and then the next day did like a 10 or 12 mile run. So that would be one way to do it. Another way is like what I'm doing this week. I'm just picking a week to do some really hard back-to-back efforts. And really, the efforts aren't necessarily hard. They're just long runs, and they're on race-specific terrain. And I think that's the most important part about a training camp, is to try to replicate the course you're going to race on. So for me, doing 4 hard days, 20 to 35 miles, and all of them are on terrain that is similar to my race. All right, you cannot see me. It's dark. There we go. I got a poncho today. I'm headed out for day 3, somewhere between 30 and 40 miles. We're gonna stay at that until I run out of daylight, essentially. Sam's gonna join me on the very last lap, but then I can either get in the car or I can run back to the Airbnb. It's about 6 more miles, maybe 2,000 more feet of climbing. So I'm headed out. I'm leaving the camera with Sam today because I just don't want to deal with it with the rain, and this weather sucks. It's not cold, too bad. There was one section back there that it did get pretty cold, but mostly it's so wet. Usually you get some wind. I am wet everywhere. It is really pretty, but it's hard to remember that when you're thinking about how you might be out here till dark. Almost to the top. I guess to start going down. Hopefully it's not slippery. I'll be able to run, which will be nice. I have to do this loop 2 more times. Just made it back to the car. How much hour of daylight is left? Maybe an hour. We didn't quite get the mileage goal, but it was a solid day. Solid day of almost 9 hours of running. And trying to find, there's a dog very unhappy in his car. And we got, let's see if we can see that, about 5 good hills. Time to go back. Today is the last day of training camp, and I'm wearing some new shoes. Sam will have my old shoes at the car just in case these ones do not work out. He'll also have Millie at the car. She whines a little bit after I leave without her, but she meets me around halfway. Alright, so we're gonna start with some beach miles today, which is a little bit like cheating. Just doing a little out and back because I haven't run that way on the beach before. So we're gonna do a little out and back and then head to the trails, do the Amanda Trail. Once I get to the visitor center, which is about 7 miles from here, then Sam and Millie will join me. We're gonna do a big loop on a trail Sam hasn't done. I did it once. Didn't really like it that much by myself. It was a little creepy. It was very dark and it was pouring rain, so I'm sure that's why I didn't like it. And then we're gonna come down a road, like a Forest Service road that I've never done. So once I do that, I will have done like almost all the trails in this area, minus some Forest Service roads. So we're gonna get 20 miles today, last big day. Might do some beach miles in the morning just before getting in the car, but we're doing it. Here we go. in bed last night, I could not fall asleep because my feet were just on fire. And today, my toes are kind of going numb, which has happened to me before. I'm gonna try changing shoes, but I think it's just a lot of miles on my feet. It is pouring again in the rainforest. I came up off the trail for a second. This parking lot. I'm gonna drop back down onto the trail. And I'm 1 mile from the visitor center, where Sam and Millie will join me. They're probably not gonna be excited about the weather. All right. Anyway, I don't have any biscuits. Going uphill. Oh, sliding. Currently at a 13% grade. 13-ish miles into the run. Here comes the rain again. On Cummins Creek Trail. Last major climb of the training camp. I think I'm going to be at or just below 20,000 feet climb for the week. Which is a little shy of the first goal, but pretty close. Millie is getting to be a wet dog. Today is day 5 of running, day 6 of trip. So these are free miles, as in they were not on the plan today. Today's just a drive home. But it's nice to move a bit before 7 hours of driving. So we're just doing some easy, mostly running until just now when Millie had to poop. So we're also making up miles that I missed on Wednesday by cutting it a little short. What do you think, Mel? Taking it very easy today. All right, Sam. What do you tell the people that want to know about Yachats?
It's a pretty spot to go. It's got lots of nice running trails just right within reach.
Yes, the trails are good.
Not a lot of sandy beach surfaces for making sand castles and flying kites, but
It's not great for little kids, maybe.
maybe not best for kids, but a great spot for beautiful views. Lots of beautiful trails.
Yeah, it's a good spot for running. There's not a ton of restaurants and shops, so if you're into that,
Quiet little town.
it's a quiet town. In fact, Sam read on Reddit, people asking, what is there to do in Yachats? And people responded, that's the point of Yachats. There's not much to do. It's quiet and relaxing. Not a lot of like touristy or nightlife attraction, but so many trails.
It's kind of our first scene.
Come on, Billy. Yeah, it's like tons of trails. I mean, so far I've run almost 95 miles on trails, including some ocean trails, some ocean paths. So, yeah, it's a fun spot, and it's just not an ideal time of year, which means it's really quiet here.
Perfect.
So that's been nice. I've never seen so few people on the Oregon coast. What do you think, Billy? Looks cold. Maybe a little bit snowy out there. Should we go? Alright, we're back home and it's winter. There's snow out there. The roads are slippery. We are headed out to do a recovery run. We are 6 weeks and 6 days until the Hurt 100. Just finished the big training camp. We have a recovery week this week, this coming week. So, and then we pretty much have like 4 weeks or less of hard training before we start tapering, which is kind of crazy. The training camp, I feel like it went really well. I handled the terrain pretty good. Ooh.
Sorry.
If anything, I think it was good for just maybe adjusting my expectations for time. I already had kind of planned that my goal would be, is it 5.5 hours per loop? Was that what we said? 5.5 hours per loop.
6 hours.
6 hours per loop, okay. Which comes out to an 18-minute mile average pace. You have to remember that that includes all of your aid station stops. And I feel like this week confirmed that that's a fairly realistic goal, because my average pace, the fastest was like 13:50 and my slowest was like a 15:30 or something. And that did include all of my stops, but I never ran further than 34 miles. So I actually think an 18-minute average pace is kind of optimistic. So it gave me a good idea of how fast I will or will not be moving for this coming is the best kind of snowy trails. You can actually run in it. It's not frozen. It's not deep. And it doesn't last very long. And Millie is having a blast. She doesn't like running in the heat very much. She loves running in the snow. It's cold enough that the ground isn't mushy and slippery. So if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions about training or nutrition or anything I didn't talk about, you should leave it in the comments.